What's up, nerds? We're your hosts. I'm Chad.
And I am Jake. This week we are sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
This week we're also sponsored by Ray's Energy Drinks.
This week we will be talking about our trip to New York City / Comic Con.
Yeah. We'll also be talking about Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Not as big of an aw man. More like an aw man.
Like an aw man. So, let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Nerd. Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd Podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. So, Jake, I guess how was your week?
My week was good.
I know I was there for half of it.
You were there for most of it. Yeah. It was a good week. I had fun. We'll get into it at some point in this episode. Since I've been home, Monday was rough.
Yeah, it was a big recovery day.
Yeah.
We kind of delayed hangovers from the start of our trip until the end of it.
Yeah. One cool thing that we didn't talk about before writing stuff down. Every time I go on a trip somewhere, my girlfriend watches my dog. She stays at my house and watches my dog for me, and she likes to fuck with my house while I'm gone. And it's hilarious. I think the first time was when I was in Ohio visiting you. And sorry, I gotta shut my volume off my phone. Anyways, and I came back home and there were googly eyes on all of my stuff. It was actually pretty funny. This time was a little different. There were fakes. She knows I'm scared of spiders. Everybody that knows me knows I'm scared of spiders. So there were fake spiders hidden in the house.
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah. There was a ghost in my shower. Like a...
Was it the ghost that you bought to hang from the tree?
No, she bought a different one because we were talking. We want to decorate my yard for Halloween, which we were going to do this coming weekend. And so she bought a bunch of stuff and hid it around the house to scare me. And most of them failed. The spiders were very fake looking, so like right away I was like, okay, babe, very funny. But like I did not shower the morning of leaving New York. I was like, I'm gonna shower in the comfort of my own shower when I get home. And so hung over me, who's been traveling at the airport for like however long.
It's like 7 in the morning.
And I like opened my shower to like take a shower, and I'm like, fucking fuck.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
Fuck.
She got me. Yeah.
That's
Other
awesome.
than that, my week's been great. How about you? Since you've been home. Since you've been home.
Those are the right words,
shit.
right? Sounds right.
I flipped that shit.
Well, since I've been home, I mean, it's been pretty chill. I slept a bunch on Monday when I got home. I probably drank my body weight in water to just rehydrate because did not do that very well in New York. Whoops. But other than that, didn't do a whole lot. Finished watching Smallville, which is pretty dope.
With it?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Yay!
It was good.
What'd you think? That like how it ended?
How it
Don't
ended was
spoil it, but how did you like it?
the show ended 10 years ago, bro.
I know, but like
No, it was really good. I was getting flustered with the fact that they weren't getting to the Superman aspect to the
they
point.
weren't progressing fast enough.
Yeah, but then but without spoiling anything for me, you're like, yeah, that's the point. When they get there, it's worth it. And I was like, okay, fine. And then when it got there, I was like,
Yeah.
oh. and it was definitely worth it. It was great.
Really, the point of the show is, for anybody who hasn't watched it, is the show is about Superman as a teenager becoming Superman. So a lot of Chad's frustrations in the show were, why the fuck isn't he Superman? And I was like, because the show is about him becoming Superman. Once he becomes Superman, the show is over. It's not about Superman. It's about him.
I just thought that we would have gotten a little bit more Superman, like the last half of a season, not the last finale or 2 episodes.
Yeah, but I thought they did a good job.
They did it really well. I'm very happy with how it ended, and it was done well. And yeah, I'm really upset with myself that I slept on it for this long, but I'm also okay with it because I was able to binge it in a month and a half.
I was like, yeah. You also watched it. Unfortunately, I watched it as a kid, and I watched it weekly. So
yeah, that's me,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got way sidetracked there. The week was great. Let's get into sponsor number uno.
Yeah, which is Ray's Energy Drinks. For those of you guys that have never listened to this before, Ray's Energy Drinks is a delicious energy drink with 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 crash. But they also have a bunch of extras like pre-workout, these awesome protein-packed desserts, as well as for the Halloween season, they just launched a limited edition flavor called Frankensour. Check it out. Pull the promo code and save 15% on your order. We'll be right back with you to talk more about Comic-Con. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Ray's Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Ray's Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful, yet sustained, energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, empowered by their refresh formula technology, Ray's Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Ray's Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, guys. So, as some of you may know, hopefully all of you, Chad. Oh shit! What does Nicole call you? Chadley. Chadley and I were in New York for New York Comic-Con, and we went on Friday and Sunday, and fucking, it was awesome.
Dude, it was a blast. I've never experienced something like that before in my life.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Other than flying there.
Well, you hate flying.
It was a good time.
I slept.
I have the biggest fear of flying. It's the worst. I white knuckle when we're taking off, and you can feel the force of going into the air on your cheeks. It's just oh god, stop.
It's no different than just being in a car accelerating 0 to 60 pretty quickly. It just lasts a little longer.
Yeah, and you're
leaving the ground. I get you. Yeah,
I was
I get
thousands of feet in the air.
Wow.
But anyways, fuck you. New York was awesome. I think we both had a really good time. I think that one huge thing that you should know if you've never been to New York, or if you have been to New York, you know what we're talking about. The entire city, no matter where you go, smells like piss.
He says that as we hung out in Midtown and Hell's Kitchen the entire weekend. Because when we were out in Brooklyn, it didn't really smell like piss.
No, I guess Brooklyn wasn't that bad.
But like Midtown, Hell's Kitchen, it's very close to Times Square. It's very touristy. It was just, it was very close to the convention center, the Javits Center, which is where Comic-Con was. But yes, it just smells like pee-pee the entire time.
We also saw human shit in the street.
More than once.
Yeah.
I mean, it was gross.
It was gross. Don't try to church it up, boy.
Wow.
That was from Joe Dirt. Your name's Joe Dirt? Joe Dirte? Don't try to church it up, boy.
That's right. But yeah, it definitely, you get a wafting, lasting scent of urine.
And when you're hungover,
it's not great.
It's not great.
It's not great. You're like, wow, I just left the smell.
I was impressed by a lot of New York. I was also very disappointed because there's so many like songs and movies about New York, and they're like, New York's the best, and like blah blah blah, and like it smelled like piss, and there was poop in the street, and there was visible puddles of pee that you had to like step over, and we were in like Times Square. Our hotel was it was like a block or two away from Times Square.
Yeah,
we were in like the nice part of New York, and it was gross.
It's not the nice part. It's the touristy part.
Well, okay, fine, whatever. I guess it wasn't the fucking like rich. I don't know.
Yeah, we were in a very touristy part. It made sense for what we were doing, but
yeah.
With that comes the issue of human urine everywhere
and poop
and some doo-doo.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we did get a chance to do a lot of really cool things.
We did.
Before we even get to talking about Comic-Con, I mean, we did the touristy thing and went to the top of the Empire State Building, and holy bonkers fuckhole. Like,
it was cool.
That was
so cool.
This was not my first trip to New York, and when I've been there in the past, I didn't go to the top of the Empire State Building because I was like, oh, that's super touristy. Like, fuck, I'm mad that I didn't go before because it was
I'm glad you didn't go before.
Awesome.
We did it together.
Oh, with someone special for my first time.
It was so windy up there. It was terrifying.
Yeah, but it was like how far you could see, and just like it really puts a huge perspective on like we're fucking tiny.
It's also kind of wild that like so they're like defense for like people to like try to commit suicide off of the Empire State Building is to have a fence up, and at the top of the fence is this like curved thing. People can't see what I'm doing with my hands. So like if this is the fence, there's like a curve at the top of it, and at the end of this curve are fucking knives sticking down.
I don't think they're sharpened.
They're knives.
they're
pointy,
dull knives.
Yeah. They're fucking spikes that would like be very uncomfortable to climb over. But it was cool. And when we took pictures, there were a couple pictures I took and you took that because of the fencing, we were like, well, I don't want to take a picture through the fence because then the fence is going to be in the frame. So like stuck my hand out with like a death grip on my phone, like, oh God, don't drop my phone, and took a picture. And it was super cool, but also terrifying. I even stuck my head through a couple times, and I'm terrified of heights.
Yeah, it was so cool. And like even mentioned like up there, like that'd be a really cool place if they had let you to like go up there with like a bottle of wine or like a 6-pack and just like hang out.
And a blanket. You need a blanket. It's cold as fuck.
Yeah,
up
it's
there.
windy.
It's so windy.
But it's really cool. You know,
it would be very like gimmicky, but like romantic if you could like bring up purchase. They would make so much money if you could buy a blanket from them and a bottle of wine and like glasses and like sit up there under a blanket and just like look at the city and like polish off a bottle of wine.
that would be rad. Yeah. We would have done it if it was an option.
I would definitely, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was like our idea. So
yeah. Royalties. You hear that, Empire State Building? Royalties.
Yeah, you bastards. It was an experience. So if you ever go to New York, if you haven't been there, or if you have been there and you haven't gone to the Empire State Building, do it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You're not above it.
Yeah.
It really belittles you, like literally standing up there.
I wouldn't say belittles. I would say humbles.
That's a very, yeah.
It's not like you get to the top and they're like, "You're a fucking piece of shit. You mean nothing."
That is exactly how I felt, though. I heard it in the wind. It was like, fuck.
No, that's just MP. That's the building talking to you.
Yeah. No, it was when you look through. They have not telescopes. They have like these crazy binocular type things that you can look through and see shit. And like, I mean, when you're up there and you see how many moving things and how big that city is, it's
wild.
Like Chad said, it's humbling. You're like, wow, I thought I was special until just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no snowflakes. Like, not special. But at the same time, you're like, wow, I'm just like experiencing, because like this building was built like in the 30s.
Yeah.
And it was built incredibly fast in the 30s. Yeah. Like it's built faster than most apartment buildings that are 4 stories tall.
Yeah. In
just about any city.
Was it like 2 stories per day or something like that?
4.5 stories per week.
Week. That's what it was. Yeah.
But considering the fact that it's like 121 floors back in the 1930s divided by 4, that's 30 weeks. It took like a year to build at most. Like, incredible.
It's nuts. I almost lost my hat like 3 times in Chad. It was just like, take it off, dude. And I was like, okay. And then my hair was like...
And then we'd round a corner, and then the wind would die down, because then we're, like, blocking. And then we'd get to the corner and be like, hat!
Anyways, that's...
outside of our touristy shit.
That's New York. The fucking juice of the story is fucking New York Comic-Con. Holy shit, this place was so cool. The people were amazing. The costumes were
I've never
fantastic.
been so blown away by like a community of just like acceptance and everybody's welcome.
And there was no like, if you go to something cool in Minnesota where there's alcohol, people get all fucking doosey and start fighting each other and being dicks. Dude, there was alcohol at this place. There was 3 times the amount of people I've seen in a Minnesota gathering. And there was not one fight. There was not one negative thing that I can even think of. Everybody was so cool, taking pictures, cheersing drinks. It was fucking amazing.
Making friends, acquaintances.
Yeah. A lot of them knew each other. You'd see people be like, dude, like from across the thing, like, I love your costume this year. And it was like, they fucking know each other. That's crazy.
And they probably knew each other from Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like, it truly is just, like, an incredible community of just, like, everybody's welcome. Everyone's accepted. Like, unless you're being a dick. But, like, there was none of that. So we never got to experience what, like, no one was an outcast. Even talking to people and being like, hey, this is our first Comic-Con, they're like, oh my God, you have to check this out. You have to do this. Like, if you have any questions, like, ask. And it was like, holy shit.
Yeah. There were cops with machine guns.
They were on the outside. The cops on the inside only had tasers and
Yeah.
probably handguns, but
Yeah, but then they just radio those guys who were just across the street, and they fucking come in there like, "Gah, gah, 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 gah." Yeah.
we experienced that 37 times.
Don't
just
fuck
kidding.
around at Comic-Con.
Yeah, or else you will find out. That was our slogan of the weekend. What are you guys' plans? What are you guys' plans for after the con? Yeah, we're gonna fuck around.
Fuck around, and find out.
Yeah. We never had to find out.
We never did. No, we just fucked around. It was a good time. But yeah,
we got to meet some incredible people as well.
Outside of, I don't even want to get into the celebrities yet. I do want to get into that, but like just the people at Comic-Con, the people who we have taken pictures with, there's people that we still need to post pictures of. We met some really cool guys dressed up as Judge Dredd. They arrested me, and Chad and those guys were like texting back and forth for like hours.
Yeah.
Being like funny, dude. Those guys are so cool.
Yeah, we met a couple of people, like, you know, we met a really awesome, like, we met a lot of cosplayers that were just super awesome.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
We met someone in an incredible Witcher cosplay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Witcher 3, like with the face scars and everything, not like the young Geralt that we see like in the TV show, but like more from the game, which was incredible. We also got a chance to meet a lot of staff and like talk to them, which was super cool because without them, like this doesn't exist. Exactly. As well as we got a chance to talk to a lot of vendors, which is super cool.
Potential new sponsors come in, and we got some. We did a lot of networking, which was the point of going. Yeah. So we got some guests coming on. We got some potential new sponsors coming on. Man, we met so many cool people. I don't even want to like get into it too much because we don't want to spoil it. But
yeah, as that stuff starts to unfold more, like we'll reiterate that it was because of Comic-Con, but like like Jake said, some new sponsors, some new guests, just a lot. Yeah. Which is awesome. We also got to meet in person Jerry Ma, who was a guest on the show. We also got to hang out with Allan a bunch, who is he's kind of working more behind the scenes on the show. He's recently been brought on as a producer for the show.
He's our producer.
Yeah, he's our producer.
Yeah.
Alongside Jake and I, so that's incredible. So yeah, there's a lot of great that came from this show. And then we got to meet some personalities.
All right, you can you let me do the actor, you do the...
Yeah, that's fine.
You go.
So, for those of you guys that are on TikTok, or also, you know, listen to other nerdy podcasts, we did get a chance to meet Straw Hat Goofy. Seriously, one of the most, like, supportive guys.
Yeah, he was so
cool. Nice. You'll recognize him on TikTok. He does like all like movies and TV shows, just getting really nerdy with all that.
He does what we do, but way better.
Yeah, and he's got it. He's got a really good science to it, and he's got like his own brand to it. But like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Like
he gave us a solid shout out.
He did, which was really cool.
Yeah. Go check our I almost said Snapchat. Go check our TikTok out for that, and our Instagram.
And Instagram, yeah.
You can see that video where he gives us a shout out, tells you to go watch our stuff. He was seriously, for the brief amount of time that we got to talk to him, he shook my hand like 5 times and was like
gave both of us a couple of hugs.
Yeah,
and like
he was the coolest guy.
Even after the cameras for like the social media was off, he's like, "Hey man, I hope you guys go, you know, far with this. I hope that you guys, you know, get everything that you want out of it and more."
He was the nicest guy, yeah.
So kind. And we couldn't be more thankful just to like gotten a chance to just like meet him in general, let alone you know, get a chance to interact with someone that's genuine like he is.
The funny part is that on Friday you had mentioned to me that you wanted to find him, and we never found him. And then on Sunday when we went for the full day,
it was like one of the first things that happened.
Yeah, we just like walked upstairs and Chad like smacked me on the shoulder and was like, "Yo, that's Straw Hat Man that I wanted to fucking meet." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's totally yeah." And then yeah,
it was super cool.
Let him take his pictures with other people, and then we got in there, and yeah, like we said, he was like the nicest dude ever.
But yeah, super kind.
But we also got to meet, and it was a very it was awesome. We met David Harbour. David Harbour. You would know him as Hopper from Stranger Things. You would also know him as Hellboy in the remake, or Red Guardian in Black Widow. He was awesome. He's a massive guy. I'm 6'2".
Dude, he's huge. He's so tall.
His shoulders are like just broad as fuck.
No wonder he was Hellboy.
Yeah, and he was like slouching, like in the picture that we have. I'm gonna put the picture on the thing. Hold on.
Yeah. So what? So while he's grabbing that, we did get a chance to do a meet and greet with David Harbour, which was super awesome. Really nice guy.
Oh, that stupid glare.
Bring it back just a little bit, yeah.
There he is. That's him. So I'm 6'2" and like 210 pounds. Look at this man's shoulders. He's huge.
And he's at an angle, and he's wired.
He's huge. He's got like his hands in his pockets. He's not even like pushing his chest out. He's just a massive guy. But he was just so fucking nice, dude.
Yeah.
He was the coolest guy. Yeah. I mean, it was a brief meeting, but he was super cool. We kind of got away with something that was maybe a little intentional, but not really.
What? No, not intentional at all.
Yes. No. Yeah. Basically, you have to pay for an autograph and a picture. And we paid for the picture, and
the autograph.
And an autograph. And basically, I told Chad, like, hey, I paid for this. I'm going to take the autograph. No offense. And then you could buy buy a print, like an extra print of the picture for an additional $10. I was like, you can have a picture with David Harbour. But when we got in to meet David Harbour for the autograph, I just gave them the two pictures that we had paid for, and he signed both of them. So we kind of got away with something there, and it was kind of cool. And we also go ahead.
Oh, and then I was gonna say also, like, they like, because they try and streamline as much as possible, because there's so many people that want to like meet him and talk to him. So you're like, okay, what are your names? Like, what's a personalized message if you want one? So we're like, just do Jake and Chad from the All Things Nerd podcast. That's it. And then sign it.
Yeah.
And then when we're literally like two queue snakes away from like going in there, like, hey, to save time, like, he's just going to sign the pictures. Like, he probably won't even like personalize it to you. He might not. We're just trying to get through it as much as possible. If you have any personalized messages, he's not going to do it. We're like, well, whatever. It's still cool. We still get to say hi. We still get to like talk to him for like a few moments. When we hand him the stuff, he looks at it and he's like, oh, you guys do a podcast? Like, that's so cool. And he's like, super like cheery, and like, I mean, I'm sure that he sees 100 people that are like, oh, podcast, whatever. But like, he saw it and was like, oh, that's super awesome. And then saw that it was called the All Things Nerd podcast. So on each individual picture, like for Jake's, it says nerd and it like is pointing at him. And then on mine, it says nerd and it's pointing at me. And then he like signed it, and it was cool. Like, he definitely didn't have to do it. We definitely also threw him some merch, which he may or may not ever actually receive, because he has. There was a Comic-Con appointed.
There was a tiny little
assistant.
slot. It was like this big, where he would slide the. Basically, when you go
because of COVID.
Line, yeah, there was plexiglass up, and you would give the merch like that we wanted him to sign the photographs to somebody. They slide it down to him. He signs it, and then slides it through this hole like this big, like the size of like.
Think of like a bank teller.
Yeah, and at the end of it, we're like, and if you saw the picture that I just showed you, you can see that there's a T-shirt in my hand and some plastic, and Chad and I had that T-shirt made, and at the end of it, we're like, this is for you, and he's like, oh, thanks, man, and like the lady that was standing next to him, I assume was like publicist or whatever.
I think that she was just a Comic-Con appointed assistant.
Yeah, she was like, yoink, and like grabbed the T-shirt away. And probably threw it in the trash. But we tried.
David Harbour, if you're seeing this, and you got the T-shirt, just a simple tweet.
Yeah.
Well, we're not on Twitter, so maybe like an Instagram post. Just like of you, just like walking to a 7-Eleven, wearing our shirt. That'd be cool.
Wearing our shirt. Yeah.
It was one of our breast cancer awareness shirts because it's the month of October. So like we figured it was fitting. Great way to support stuff. But yeah.
It was cool.
And he was super nice. Even for the brief few moments that we got a chance to like talk to him and like get to meet him.
Nice. Super nice. Massive guy.
Super nice. So tall.
He's so big.
Like I'm 5'11". Like I'm by no means short, but I'm also by no means tall. Like I'm very average. I felt tiny.
I'm 6'2", and I was like,
hello, sir.
Nice to meet you.
May I have some more?
Can I have some more? More?
Can't. Oh, we went two different ways with that one.
Anyways, sponsors you.
Yeah. One last thing that we did get a chance to do while we're in New York was we did go see Venom in theaters, which we'll get into it. But before we do, like Jake said, we do have to mention our other sponsor for this episode.
Yeah. Sponsor number 2 is Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. Please listen up, and we'll tell you more about it.
Oh, yes. Sweet and sour.
Extra cheese pickles. Go into the fucking sponsor.
I was going to cut it before that, but okay. Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, guys. So now we are going to be talking about Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage from Sony.
From Sony.
Oh, I think that perfectly describes how both of us feel about this film.
Yeah. Matt Damon. That is Sony.
Clearly, Jake hated this movie more than I did, but that does not mean that I enjoyed it.
There were parts of the movie that I was okay with.
And there were funny moments.
Yeah, I definitely laughed at it.
Sometimes laughing at it and not with it. Which...
I personally... Here's the thing.
I love Andy Serkis. Can I get that out of the way first? I love Andy Serkis.
Same. I also love Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
I also love Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
Woody Harrelson.
And I fucking love Woody Harrelson. Here's the thing. When they put out the first Venom movie, I was stoked. I was like, oh my god, this is badass. I watched it, and I hated it. Then, when Venom 2 came out, I was like, this is gonna suck. But then there were rumors that something was gonna happen tying Venom 2 to the MCU. And I was like, ooh, that would make this movie good. And then we went and saw it. And I was like, I was wrong. This movie's garbage. Just like the first one is garbage. I will say in its defense that I fully want to see this version of Venom face off against Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. Absolutely. But if Sony is the people behind it, it's
No
gonna
hope.
suck. If Marvel or Disney, I should say,
unless John Watts is the one that's making it.
you cannot have the people that are making these Venom movies be the minds behind it.
And it kills me
It's gonna
because
be bad.
also there was it was the same preview that we've gotten before for Morbius. After this, I'm no longer excited for Morbius.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not. Like, this
It
movie had good moments. It was also only 90 minutes long.
But like, the thing about the good moments in this movie was that, like, can you think of like an action sequence in this movie that you liked? Like, is there a moment of this movie that you liked that wasn't like a comedic moment? Because every moment of this movie that I can think of that I was like, that was cool, was like a funny part of the movie.
The bell tower fight scene was dope. Because it kept like blending between.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That was
yes,
awesome.
Yeah, okay.
It was
I'll give
very
you...
short-lived because like 2 minutes into that fight scene, someone's like, "Fuck this bell," and yanked it.
But if you don't know, Venom bells and noises like that make him weak. Also with Carnage, the symbiotes.
Yeah, symbiotes in general. Yeah. Oh.
So there was like a fight scene where they were fighting and like there was a bell ringing, so they would go from being the symbiotes to like their human forms.
Kind of like Spider-Man 3. Weird.
Yeah. It was maybe the one good action scene that I could be like, okay, that was cool. Everything else that I can say about that movie that I liked.
When Carnage first appeared during the prison breakout scene, that was pretty dope as well. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a very Incredible Hulk to me. When you first see Edward Norton's Incredible Hulk, and they don't actually show him right away, and you just see him like drag people into the dark, I was like, well, I've seen this before in a Marvel movie.
But when you actually do see Carnage, and like, because the whole,
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. You're fighting so hard, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
I know
on the opposite end of this.
No,
I'm so
but
sorry.
I'm also because then they like, in like 2 sentences, they just like erase so much of who Carnage was and is in the comics, like. The Carnage and is it Cassius Clay? Cassidy Clay? Cassius, whatever. Woody Harrelson.
Cletus Cassidy.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, Cletus. Oh, that's so Sweet Home Alabama of you. That's a very cousin fucker name. Anyways, in the comics, like the Carnage to Cletus Cassidy is like supposed to be like a perfect match.
Yeah.
And that's why like during the movie you like see Carnage like open up a hole in the middle of the body to let bullets fly through. And then at the end, they're like, whoa, they're not actually together. They're fighting against each other. And it's like, then that entire sequence makes zero sense. Like, that goes completely against.
Also, spoiler alert.
we gave you a week and almost 2 full weeks before we got into this.
See,
but yes, spoilers, I guess.
for me, it was in the end. Okay.
They underdeveloped the villains in this film.
Well, for one, this is my qualm. We have qualms. Oh my God, we have qualms.
So many qualms. Qualmtillions.
I do not like in the comics, in the cartoons, and whatever that have been made, they are villains. Carnage, Venom, they're the bad guys. Even though Eddie Brock is not a bad guy, Venom is a bad guy. And I do not like the way that they are trying to make the villains likable, because then what are we going to do when the good guy that we're following is fighting this bad guy that we also like now? Like, who's going to be the bad guy? Who are you rooting for? It's not supposed to be that way, and they're making these villains, and I assume that's what they're going to do with Morbius too, is make him this, like, just judging by the trailer, just as a likable guy who's just trying to save the world, and then he's going to become a bloodthirsty vampire, but you're, like, rooting for him, and it's like, no, that's not how it fucking goes. He's a bad guy.
Venom is a reluctant hero.
Yeah,
he's not an anti-hero.
Yeah.
He's a reluctant hero. He's only a hero when it benefits him.
Yes.
So that he can further... He's like...
It drives me nuts. Because...
He's like Lex Luthor in Smallville.
Yeah.
Like, he's a bad guy throughout, but he has moments where you're like, oh, I can relate with him, and he's kind of likable.
Super likable. And that's the way... And I've said this a million times, and I'm going to say it again right now. A good villain thinks they're the good guy. That's what makes a good villain. They think that the good guy is a bad guy because they're against what they're trying to do, and they think that what they're doing is a good thing. And that's why Lex Luthor is in my opinion, the best villain ever. He's the 100% opposite of Superman. I don't want to get into this because we're talking about Venom, but a good villain thinks they're the good guy. This anti-hero bullshit that they're trying to pull
they
with
made
Venom.
the Venom Eddie Brock relationship into the fucking Odd Couple.
Yeah, it's annoying, and he should be a vicious fucking killer. And Eddie Brock in the comics, he is not a nice guy. He's not like they make Tom Hardy, where he's like, he's a fucking bully and he's a dick. That's who he is. And like, they kind of like play on it, like
in the first one
with his like girlfriend, like Michelle Williams' character. She's like, oh, this is why I left you, because you're so self-absorbed. But like, they tried to make him too likable, and like in the comics, he's not. He's a fucking douchebag. You don't like Eddie Brock. You don't like Venom. That's why they get along so well, is because they're both fucking douchebags. And like, in these movies, they're trying to make them both likable. They're trying to make Eddie Brock like this good guy who just has this thing, and then they try to make Venom like this like fucking Barney the dinosaur who's just attached to him. He's like, oh, I want to kill people. And he's like, no, you can't kill people. And he's like, oh, fine, I won't kill people.
Oh, shucksy doodle.
And it's just like, fucking, what are you doing to this character? I think Venom looks amazing.
Oh, incredible.
And I would love for this version of Venom, like, aesthetically, to face off against Spider-Man. But I don't know how they're going to do it, because they've just spent 2 movies trying to make you like both Eddie Brock and Venom. And now Spider-Man's supposed to come in, who we've been rooting for and are supposed to root for, but now we're supposed to like this guy too? Who the fuck are we rooting for now? It's dumb. He's a villain, not a fucking good guy. And they've spent 2 movies making him a good guy. It's annoying. I hate it. I'm done. I'm sorry I've been talking for like a half an hour. You go.
Yeah.
Throwing my pen.
4 minutes. It's fine. And by that I mean 2. Yeah. And also, like, in the standalone Venom films, the first one, there was Riot was like the standalone villain symbiote. This one we get Carnage. At the end of this one, we get hinted at Toxin by Officer McMullen, who is technically like the symbiote that takes over him, is Carnage's child. It's just like, come on.
We need,
like, stop doing the tropes. Like, there's so much source material to go on. You don't have to stick with just symbiotes.
Yeah.
Because there are storylines where Venom is a hero.
Yeah.
If you want to keep that storyline, like if Sony wants to be like, Venom is our standalone hero because we don't get Spider-Man to ourselves. Like, if they want to go with that, so be it. There's so much source material to go on that does not involve symbiotes.
Yeah.
But that's what they're going towards, and that's what they're hinting towards.
But it's like kind of played. I'm like, we're only 2 movies in.
Also, every single villain is underdeveloped. Oh my fucking god!
I'm already sick of the symbiotes.
Yeah.
As the villains in these movies. Because only 2 movies in.
At least,
like, give us something new.
At least in this one, Carnage shows up early enough. Still super underdeveloped.
Yeah.
The writing, we also get Shriek for some reason. If you guys pay attention to the comics, Shriek was from the X-Men universe. She had a love interest with Cletus Cassidy. She's a mutant. She's basically the villainous Black Canary from whatever.
She screams.
She screams and it's loud and oh my god, my ears. Oh. Their dialogue, they're supposed to be like these star-crossed lovers. And when they talk, they're like, oh, oopsie doodle, my pumpkin smunkin.
Oh,
like, oh
like
my.
They're from they're fucking, from, like the 1950s or something. Like, who the fuck am I trying to think of? Please save me here.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The 2 people, the girl and the guy that killed the one on killing spree and like back in the day. Jesus fucking Christ. Really? That didn't help? Oh my god.
Bonnie and Clyde?
Bonnie and Clyde. Thank you. It was like...
Wow, how did we not even get that? They make a reference to it in the movie.
Yeah,
fuck.
It's so annoying. And they're like... But that's like how they talk to each other. Like they were born in the 1950s, like Chad was saying. It is garbage. Garbage. This movie's garbage. There were funny parts, but it was like gimmicky funny parts. It was like...
And also like Carnage gets defeated and then eaten by Venom.
Yeah.
Spoiler, again.
Yeah.
Like, Carnage,
Carnage
survives. Like,
Carnage...
Yeah, sorry.
You go. Sorry, no.
No, you were starting to say it and I cut you off.
I think we're getting to the same point. But
yeah,
like,
you go. I've dominated.
In the comics, Carnage is a bigger villain than Venom.
Yeah.
In the Spider-Man universe, he's like a worse version of Venom, and Venom just like
that's where the anti-hero aspect of Venom comes from.
Yeah.
Is because now they have like a common ground to fight. In 90 minutes, they erased all of that. Again, I love Andy Serkis.
Yes.
And for a 90-minute movie, this felt like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. Because I was super hungover and like...
I was not as bad. But I still felt like for 90 minutes, this movie lasted longer than what I thought it would. And it was...
I hear that's like a...
Dear Smeagol, I'm sorry that I'm about to say this, Gollum. For for 90 minutes, it lasted too long.
Yeah.
This could have been a CW made-for-TV movie done in 45 minutes.
Yeah. With better graphics.
And it was not as satisfying as I wanted it to be. The visual of the characters, great. It was fun. It was fucking... There was a lot of funny moments.
And... Sorry, you keep talking. Go. Sorry.
No, it was not the story that I wanted.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't completely hate Venom, the first movie. I didn't love it. I thought that they were setting up something to be bigger, badder, and better. And they just set up this.
I want people to understand that I'm a huge comic fan, and I love Venom. I love Venom. So for me to tell you that these movies are terrible, this is proof. This is my mouse pad. I fucking love Venom. Okay? This is my coaster that a friend made me, but still my coaster. Spider-Man, Venom. I love it. These movies are so bad. My only saving grace that has made me want... After the first movie came out, I argued with people about it because there's people that love it, and good for you. It's a matter of opinion, and I do not dictate whether a movie is good or bad. I have my own opinion about it, and I thought it was terrible. I did not give a shit about this second movie. I didn't want to see it. I had no whatever about it until I heard rumors that there was gonna... Well, not just rumors, there was confirmed that Sony and Marvel were going to eventually cross these movies. And I heard rumors that there was a scene, spoiler alert, it's true. The end credits scene of this movie is Eddie and Venom on the run after defeating Carnage, and Venom offers to show Eddie a small portion of what Venom went through before he came to Earth, and when Eddie agrees to it, before they are able to share that whatever scene, something happens. The room changes that they're in, and if you can see this, it looks like this. And
let me paint you a word picture before Jake continues. I'm not even going to paint you a word picture. I'm just going to tell you what it is, because for us nerds that have been following trailers, previews, everything, it is the expansion of the spell that Doctor Strange does in the trailer for No Way Home from Spider-Man. You see the spinning gold rings with the ruins just kind of like washes over the room. Everything changes. And then Eddie's like, what the fuck? Without saying what the fuck. And then Jake finished it.
Basically they're like, what just happened? And Venom's like, it wasn't me. And then you see on the TV, it is the end scene from Spider-Man Far From Home, where J.K. Simmons from the Daily Bugle is talking about how Spider-Man is a menace, and they show Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Now it's totally candid, and Venom basically like takes over Eddie in full Venom, walks up to the TV, and he goes, that guy, and it just starts licking the TV at Tom Holland's face. So this is why I wanted to see this movie, even though I didn't want to see this movie, is because I knew it was going to tie into this. And my hopes are that when we do transfer these movies together, that whoever is in charge of these Venom movies will just sit down and let Disney.
I'm hoping so,
Do it.
because we also have like behind the scenes pictures of Tom Hardy wearing the No Way Home production hat.
Yeah.
It was quickly deleted like from social media, but it still exists on the internet because the internet is forever. But
wait, what? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Sorry,
Keep
boss. Sorry. RIP our professional careers. Hey.
Yeah.
No, but with all of that, I mean, it's very much... We went to see this movie with... It was all but 100% confirmed to the public that this crossover was happening. And then they did an end credit scene. Not basically, because if Venom and this Eddie Brock were now put into a different multiverse, the first two movies don't fucking matter. They don't exist. They retconned it in an end credit scene. Sorry. That scared the shit out of my dog if you guys are watching.
Yeah, you did.
But, like, come on. Like,
But in a potentially good thing would be that if they're doing that and the first two movies didn't matter, that they're gonna do better.
And also with that, I mean, because we were just complaining about how like they made him this anti-hero by having him transverse, because symbiotes are more knowledgeable of the knowledge of the universe than humans are. By crossing those lines, maybe that's what twists Venom to actually be a villain that we want to see. Hopefully.
We also do see in this movie that like Venom wants to kill people, and like Eddie is like, no, you can't kill, and Venom's like, well, this is bullshit, I want to kill. And so maybe if I love Andy Serkis as much as you do, I really do. He's a good actor. He's a good voice actor. He's amazing. Sit the fuck down. You're not doing it.
He changed the industry for motion capture.
Yeah.
20 fucking years ago.
Gollum, Caesar,
King Kong.
Kong, yeah, like this guy, he's amazing. He's so good. But like,
as a director, not a writer, he didn't write it, but for directing what was given to him, he made a 90-minute film feel like a traditional 2-hour film.
Yeah. Just please let Disney take the reins from here. Please.
I would love to see him as, an executive producer, because this movie was more violent, more graphic.
Yeah.
It had a lot more CGI like motion.
Is canon in the MCU. He's Ulysses Klaue.
Yeah.
From Black Panther and Age of Ultron.
He understands the story. He understands how to tell a story. I mean, he is, in all intents and purposes, he's a hero on the nerd realm.
Yeah.
I don't blame Andy Serkis for this film.
No.
Because he didn't write it.
But like
he did what he could with what he was given.
For the next one, like
I laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed a lot. The funniest moment was we mentioned that Carnage just gets like eradicated in this film. Basically, Venom wins at the end of this, and like the symbiote is separated from Cletus Cassidy. You see it like crawling back towards Cletus Cassidy. Venom picks it up, eats it, and is like, that didn't taste good. And Cletus was like, I just wanted you to be my friend. And Venom was like, fuck this guy! And like eats him. Fucking hilarious.
He bites his head off.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that part was funny. But yeah,
There's a handful of funny moments in this film.
Yeah, but those are like the best parts of the movie.
It wasn't exactly.
It was
It was not enough.
moments.
It wasn't enough to like save the movie as a whole, which is a bummer, because I was really looking forward to this film because like I did not hate the first movie as much as you did.
I was gonna say I was not looking forward to this movie.
I didn't love it either. But with Andy Serkis and the rumors of the Tom Holland crossover, I was like, let's fucking go. I love Woody Harrelson, which they underwrote. I don't remember the actress's name that plays Shriek.
Oh, hold on. It's like Naomi. I know it. She was in the Pirates of the Caribbean. She was the big chick in the third one.
Naomi Harris.
Thank you.
She played Calypso. Yes.
Calypso. Thank you.
Yeah.
The big chick. God. Come on, Jake.
She grew to giant sizes, for those of you that know.
Yeah. I wasn't body shaming. She got big.
Yeah, she became a giant because she's a demigod, basically. Anyways, I was really excited because of all the names attached to this. Just the writing really suffered on this. I laughed.
I cried.
I did not.
I only cried at how bad it was. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. There were not plenty. There were a couple of action sequences that I enjoyed. It wasn't enough.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Closing arguments?
Yeah. None. Just listen to this episode. You don't have to watch it. Unless you really want to see that end credit scene, then just go to YouTube. Or if you really enjoyed the first Venom film, then yeah, sure, go watch it. Who are we to judge?
There's enough people that liked the first Venom film to make a second Venom film.
And like Jake mentioned earlier, we're not the ones to decide if it's a good movie. These are just our opinions.
Yeah.
I hope that to some degree you trust us, but if you like the first one and you don't, go watch it.
The ingredients are all there. Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Woody Harrelson, Andy Serkis,
Naomi Harris.
All of these things are like, this is gonna be fucking amazing. And then it's just like, not.
Just very much dropped the ball. With that being said, we are going to go ahead and close out this episode.
But before we do,
we just have a few things that we want to, go over. Our usual go-overs, but also some huge shout-outs over this past weekend.
Yeah, definitely want to give some special thanks out.
Yeah. We really want to thank Jerry Ma and Allan, our producer, as well as all of their friends, colleagues, and just their crew, if you will.
Yeah.
Really made this our first Comic-Con.
Our first time ever at Comic-Con.
Really memorable.
Yeah, very welcoming. We got pretty drunk with Jerry. It was a good time. Allan brought us
kind of tricked into doing a shot of scotch. It was just what was left in the bottles of the night. Some people had just like whiskey, and a couple people had scotch, and I was like, huh? And I was like, oh, that burned. And Jerry's like, yeah, that was scotch. And I was like, oh, okay. Should have said that.
It was fantastic. Jerry, thank you, and your friends for having us and being so welcoming to us and letting us come behind the booth and hang out with you guys. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Allan, also, I don't know if we have thanked you. I think we did, but we were drunk. But if we didn't, thank you for, hanging out with us and taking us to Brooklyn. And you brought us to Chad and I are both vegan. And Alan, you brought us to a vegan restaurant, and it was amazing. And
So good.
We loved it. Everything about it was, other than the piss smell, New York was amazing, and you guys are amazing.
And we wouldn't be between Jerry and his crew and Alan and his crew and his friends and their friends, like between that entire like network of people, first off, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And we
Definitely
wouldn't
not.
be going in the direction that we're going.
Yeah.
So like,
Which is straight to the garbage. But we love you guys. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, honestly, without Alan and Jerry, this giant door has been opened for the both of us in this podcast.
it really comes down to Alan. Let's give the ultimate props to our producer, because without Alan, we would have never met Jerry, who would have never introduced us to his realm of incredible artists, writers, illustrators, and also Alan would have never introduced us to his connections.
Yeah, I mean,
his artists, his illustrators,
and we have like a ton of people. We're for interview wise, we're booked out through like December because of Alan. Like we have
into January too.
Yeah, we have like amazing guests that are going to be on this show, other talented people, and it's all because of Alan. So, man, you guys are amazing, and you guys were so awesome to us, and we're very, very small fish in a very big pond, and you guys make us feel bigger than we are.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah,
it's incredible. With that being said, we do have our Patreon. If you guys want to hear even more guests, you want us to do more things, anything, even if you just like us, you don't have to like us, but if you just like us.
Do you like me? Yes, no, maybe.
Even if that question is maybe, but you have anticipations or hopes for us to grow, you like what we're doing, we do have our Patreon page. It's just patreon.com/allthingsnerdpodcast. On top of that, we also have our web store, which you can find in the link in our bios, links in the show notes. We have a ton of stuff. We're in the process of migrating to something that makes way more sense, that is more all in one for you guys. That's all coming soon. It's all because of you guys, and we could not be more thankful. So we love you. We have our web store, we have our Patreon. We love you guys. Thank you for being here for as long as you have been, because it really has created this opportunity where people notice us and want us to be a part of things that are honestly too good to be true, let alone way bigger than what we are.
We literally went from like two drunk guys like shooting the shit over FaceTime to like going to Comic-Con and having like comic artists and shit like on our show, which is
it's because of you guys.
Not what we would have expected. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. You to everyone that has been here before. And for those of you that are just tuning in, you guys mean the world to us. We love you. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.